the factory floor at one of China's best-known clothing companies that few abroad have ever heard of. Inner Mongolia's Ardos Cashmere is 30 years old. Powered by a huge ad spend over the years, it commands 40% of the domestic soft woolens market. But this sector, with its safe and comfortable image, is under pressure from the influx of aspirational, edgy, foreign fashion brands. So Ardos is on a mission, not just to create new lines, but to revamp its entire corporate image.
We can make the change to our product, but now our biggest hurdle is to make sure this product now is able to be sold at the right place, where you can meet the right kind of consumer. So I think this project is probably the biggest hurdle we are overcoming.
The project is branding, creating a clear, credible, emotional and motivational personality that differentiates a company from its competitors. The Ardos overhaul, from visual identity to store image and product range, is a huge undertaking as the company seeks international style street cred as a fashion house. In China, this is blue sky thinking. For years, companies had a command economy mindset, produce big slogans, spend huge sums on TV advertising and expect consumers to believe them. But dogged with quality and copycat problems, few firms have succeeded in developing that all-important, intangible and emotional attachment to the products and services at home and especially abroad. Consumer research firm Millward Brown, however, says corporate attitudes are now clearly changing. That pressure from abroad is forcing boardrooms to be more sophisticated.
In the last few years, especially in the internal and the domestic marketplace, I think competition has grown. A lot of multinational brands are starting to exploit distribution channels and move into lower tier cities. So as competition increases in China, it's more and more important for products and services to be able to differentiate themselves.
That said, the Chinese government still fails to adequately protect firms from well-connected counterfeiters, and this seriously undermines a good brand. And even the more progressive Chinese companies are burdened with the made in China stereotype: low-paid factory workers, shoddy goods and poor environmental standards. An accusation that for many simply isn't fair. But it is a market reality, especially abroad, notably in countries with a critical, unforgiving press.
Some countries, this hurdle might be more difficult to overcome than others. So there might be a case in the US where the pet food scandals and the melamine scandals certainly generated very, very high attention in the press and in the media.
The reality of the Made in China curse isn't lost on iGo, a popular maker of USB memory sticks, MP6 players and digital cameras. As an Olympics and Formula One sponsor, iGo enjoys a high profile in mainland China. But its chairman accepts that to be credible globally, the bar for Chinese companies is high. And so until iGo has a strong overseas service network, he's holding off on expanding abroad.
You know, many companies, they want to sell products first, but no service. It's disaster for brand, because only you have good service, you can give the satisfaction to the consumer. So we need partner.
Chinese exporters like white goods maker Haier and beer maker Qingdao are strongly focused on service and brand awareness. That's why they're on the short list of Chinese companies that foreigners might recognise. Other players have raised their profiles by making big-ticket acquisitions, like Lenovo, which bought IBM's ThinkPad, and now Geely, which recently purchased Volvo.
The logic to that seems to be, can we appropriate marketing sophistication, or can we appropriate an existing relationship with consumers in another market?
But as the best connected Chinese brands develop and expand internationally, they will lose a protective umbrella that has served them well: the power to often stifle online criticism. In China, a whole industry has developed to erase unflattering comments. But the culture is very different on the other side of the Great Firewall. The head of branding at one of India's leading corporations, Infosys, says scrutiny is now unrelenting. Brands that cover up or don't keep their word do so at their peril.
You remember that Sting song? Every breath you take, every move you make, every smile you fake, I'll be watching you. Every company is being watched by all its stakeholders. And every misstep you make will be caught. It's an end of command and control communication.
And this is corporate China's Achilles heel. For companies must be loyal to the state, or indeed they may be state-controlled. And among consumers in the wealthier markets, the Chinese government is largely unloved. So much so that a rebranding of the Communist Party itself could well be good for business.